Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today. Peacock's got your next TV obsession. It's a dark comedy called Based on a True Story.
Los Angeles couple Ava and Nathan feel like their lives are falling apart.
Ava's one ray of sunshine, immersing herself in true crime 24/7.
When a unique podcast opportunity capitalizing on America's obsession with murder arises, the couple finds themselves in over their heads.
From the Emmy Award-nominated producer of The Boys and executive producer of Ozark, Based on a True Story stars Emmy Award nominee Kaylee Cuoco and Chris Messina. Stream it on June 8th, only on Peacock.
Gabrielle Union strived for the perfection her father always demanded, but as a dark-skinned Black girl, she never felt like she was enough. In our new series, Gabrielle Union, Bigger, Badder, Better, we'll tell you how she learned to embrace the things that scared her and let go of her need to be perfect.
Listen to Even the Rich on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens. Happens. Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me as usual on this wonderful day is the one and only Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Looks like we're matching again our shirts. That's because I'm watching you on video. We're doing video every day, basically. Every day we do video. And so it all goes on to Crappens On Demand on Patreon first, where it lives there for a week before then going public on YouTube. So if you want to have early first look access to our videos as we record these shows, go to patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens. You also get access to our bonus episode. And there's a whole bunch of other perks that are there. So go check that out. Also, we have the last leg of our tour. June is tomorrow, and so are the final 6 shows of our tour. And then after that, it's over until next year. So please come and join us. Starting next week, we're going to be in San Diego. I can't believe it's already next week. Next week in San Diego on June 9th. June 15th, we're in St. Paul, Minnesota. 16th in Chicago. 17th in Columbus. Then on the 23rd, we go to Boston. And then we finish things up with the grand finale in Foxwoods, June 24th. These are going to be amazing, big, amazing shows. So please come join us. Go to watchwhatcrappens.com for tickets. Bring a friend. Don't bring a friend. Come solo. Do whatever you want. Bring a stuffed animal. I don't care. Just come join us. So that's all the big news. And then today, oh my God, New Jersey reunion.
Wow, New Jersey. So everyone's like, oh my God, it's so toxic. It's terrible. What show have you been watching for the past decade? This is the same shit it always is. It's Melissa and Teresa yelling at each other. Why are you guys pretending this is so new? And Teresa keeps saying, I'm finally standing up for myself. The fuck you talking about? And then Melissa's like, I'm finally standing up for myself. Dolores said it best. This story is so old. Okay. I love when Dolores just like kind of was like pulling up her Spanx, leaning back, just like, fuck this. It's like the equivalent of Thanksgiving dinner, putting your hand kind of down your pants and just being like, well, fuck it. Turn on some football, I guess. But she just like leaned back and was like, this is old.
It is old. But what is new is that Melissa's I don't give a fuck attitude, which really is refreshing to me, you know, not doing her typical Kyle Richards almost thing of like, I just want family to be family. She's just like, fuck it. Fuck you, Teresa. I've done this. I've done X, Y, and Z for you. We've done this, this, and this. You said this, this, and this. Fuck you. And Teresa's like, no, but like, no, that's not how it is. That's not how it is. I'm so done with her. And Teresa, I thought Melissa did a great job this reunion.
I think Melissa sucks as a human being. Hate her on my TV. Still hate her. I do like her much more as this. I think this is closer to her real self, and I think she's been hiding her real self since she's been on the show. Because, like we said before, on her first season, that christening, that's the real Melissa. The real Melissa is the one wandering around the big fake mansion with the fake marble and stuff, going, "I want to sing in Korean, Joey," and then getting some kid at church to write her a song about how famous she is when she's not famous, and like that's the Melissa that I need. Don't like her still. But I think it's a lot more palatable for sure. But, you know, Teresa, I think gets most of the blame for being an out-and-out liar. But she's not the only one. I think I do agree that that Teresa is a big liar. She's caught in like 10 lies just in this reunion alone. But so is Melissa. You know, Melissa she's just not as dumb, you know? And I've always felt like...
That's not nothing.
It's not nothing. And I feel like Teresa gets away with a lot because she's dumb, but also she doesn't get away with anything because she really doesn't know how to say anything. So it's a double-edged, very
spaghetti
dull
noodle
sword.
Yeah.
Spaghetti noodle.
Okay, it's a double-edged spaghetti noodle. Teresa just says family a lot and talks about family, and Teresa's really good at playing the sentimental notes. And so people really, you know, they see Teresa as like, she's about family, she's about loyalty, because Teresa says it. Teresa just says it over and over again, but she's so hypocritical. And that's always been my issue with her, is that everything she said goes down a one-way street. And it's never more evident in this. So I really liked Melissa just sort of giving up the act, giving up the phony, wants the family to be together, giving up the passive-aggressive little comments. She's just out and out, just like, done with Teresa, mocking her to her face at times, and just kind of like empowered in a way that I find refreshing. Like you said, authentic. I feel like she's being more authentic to herself. Did not like her hood.
Authentic to herself. I don't think authentic as a person. I would not. I don't want to take credit for saying that, because I think she's still full of shit and a liar. I think she lies a lot during this reunion, which we'll get to. But yeah, I like her being more of a spoiled brat than like a perfect little angel who never does anything wrong. I also like whoever made the meme today of Melissa as the Wicked Witch from Snow White, where the witch turns like really evil looking and old and has like the blue hood on and it's like, "Would you like an apple, my dear?" I thought that was really funny. I think her outfit was more going for Rocky.
That's right.
The witch from Snow White. But,
yeah, it was definitely like a boxer's outfit. I mean, first of all, also, thank you, Bravo, for just getting into the reunion. Thanks for not doing all the stuff where people show up, they walk into a building and they sit down in a makeup chair, and then Andy tours around. We started with them walking out onto a set that was supposed to be the Irish castle, because I don't know if you heard they went to Ireland this year, but it actually looked more like the Haunted Castle from Disneyland, because they took all these paintings. I feel like they just took over leftover paintings from the Traitors set, and then they just did terrible, lazy photoshopping of their faces on the painting. Like, this poor art department, after they set up the Summer House set and after Vanderpump Rules, they're just like, honestly, you're not paying us enough to airbrush these faces properly. We're just going to sort of like do a lasso effect from one application and put them onto these paintings and be done with it.
Well, it was definitely Traitor vibes, which is very fitting for this show, because that is what it all became about by the end. Who put Teresa in prison? And that's what's so funny to me. Teresa just cracks me up. It's like she eventually learns. At first, remember, she wouldn't even say jail. It was always camps,
yes.
camps. I went to camps. And then she finally said jail for the first time, and the internet literally gave her a parade. I mean, they were like, "Teresa, what a hero. She had the courage to say jail." And then she finally took responsibility 2 years later and said, "Sure, Joe made me sign papers I didn't know what they were, so it's not real responsibility. But I did it, and I take responsibility." But then, then she just undoes it all by saying, "No, I'm thrown in jail because of Melissa. That's who threw me in jail." Like, you are in jail because of you. You are in jail because of you. You constantly went in front of the judge and lied your ass off. The judge literally tried to let you off. He tried to let you go home, but you wouldn't stop fucking lying, lady. Okay, that's the truth. So it's really funny that Teresa just can't even You can coach her all you want, but she just always goes back to Teresa, you know? And I think that's why Teresa is a classic, because Melissa's going to do whatever she thinks the audience wants. She's going to say whatever she thinks the audience wants her to hear. She's a fake ass. Teresa is going to Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa should be on the next season of Traitors, because if there's anyone who loves a witch hunt, it's Teresa. I mean, if she loves a conspiracy theory about her family, and she loves a witch hunt to back it up. So I think she'd be wonderful on that show. So yeah, they come out onto the set. The portrait they have of Rachel is hilarious. Her neck is so long. It looks like a Dr. Seuss painting. I'm like, what? I understand you'd have not a lot of money in your budget for these portraits, but could you at least try to make that neck look actually human length?
I think Fuda always looks like, she always has the expression of someone who's just been woken up from a nap by a loud noise. It's like boom, and she's like,
but pretending like she never was asleep in the first place. Like,
no,
I'm totally awake.
I'm awake.
I'm awake. I'm totally awake.
I'm awake right now.
It's Wednesday, right? Because I'm awake. I know that. Right? I'm awake.
So then Andy is like, doing it. It's like, welcome back to Ireland, Rachel. Do you like Ireland? We're in Ireland right now. It's crazy. Hey, do you want an Irish staple? A slice of pizza? Because we got it. That's all they ate in Ireland. They're like, hey, God, I love being in a different country. Could you bring us some rigatoni and some focaccia? Thank you.
Focaccia. Lasagna, please.
Yeah, please make the focaccia spell out something. Ireland. That would be great.
Could you do a 4-leaf clover in the shape, a focaccia in the shape of a 4-leaf clover? Thank you. So Jennifer comes out and she's like, "Hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Andy. Didn't even see you over there." How do you not see Andy Cohen sitting he's the only one
literally
who's never changed seats in a reunion?
Because Jen is shaming Andy. Because Jen is always making little comments about how Andy hates her and he's unfair. He's nice to everyone, but he's unfair to her. It's victim Jen. Typical fucking victim Jen. By the way, you're my favorite at the moment. But typical victim Jen. And I think she's short shaming him. She's short man shaming him. Like, oh, hi, Andy. Oh, so short, huh? Wow. Welcome to work, shorty. Wow. If this is baseball, look, everybody, Andy's playing shortstop again. Oh, shortstop. Stop, baby.
So then Melissa they're all coming out, making little comments. And he's like, wow, va-va-va-voom. And then Melissa comes out in, like you said, like a Rocky hood. Like she literally has it on. She's walking out sort of like she's going into a fight. I was like, oh, Melissa, why? Don't do this. Don't start on this tone. No, I'm on your side already. Why are you doing this to me? You're going to make it hard for me to stay on your side with this stupid hood. But luckily she took the hood down. I was afraid she was going to have that hood up the whole episode.
You were just going to be mad at her for the hoodie? I was like, what'd she do wrong?
Just the whole, like, I'm a boxer. I'm going to go into a fight. I'm like Rocky. I was like, you know what? This is too much.
I'd love to see it. I would love to see it, actually. Now that's a physical fight I'd love to see. Teresa will kill you.
Teresa
kidding?
would destroy her.
Teresa would fucking kill you. Teresa and Dolores hung out when they were younger. I wouldn't fuck with either two of those ladies. No. Hell no. Mm-hmm. So Andy's like, this might be everyone's best reunion look. And Jen's like taking selfies with the new girls. And then the producer's like, okay, guys, time to make some television. All right, we're going to make a TV show here, guys. 3, 2, 1, fight. Let's do it. I was like, can we see this producer, please? Because
I know
this producer's already my favorite person on the show.
All right, well, good evening and welcome to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Lucky Season 13.
Hey, so what? Who cares? 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 It's Teresa's ringer.
Hold on, my phone's ringing. Hold on. Oh my God, it's Joe Giudice.
Hey, 3, ask Bill, Jen's husband, if he does the under the eye bags, huh?
We're taping in the reunion, though.
As if, like, no one had texted him backstage, like, okay, Dad, call now,
Yeah. So Andy's like, are you going to get your bags done, Joe? And he's like, nah, mine ain't baggy yet. I've got news for you, okay? I don't know how they're doing on mirrors over in Italy, but you sure as shit do have baggy eyes, okay? If you had them 5 years ago when I saw your ass, you have them now, sir.
He should be like a he should be like a local city policy. No more bags. No more bags. Okay.
So Andy's like, do you have any girlfriends in the Bahamas yet? What's that about? And he's like, yeah, I got a few. And Tree's like, yeah, he's got a few, huh? Yeah, I got a few bitch wives down here, huh? So what? Who cares? She's coming right now, all right? Who cares?
Yeah, but you don't watch the show, do you? He's like, yeah, no, I don't watch it. I don't watch it.
No. The only time he watched the shows was when he was in jails.
And
remember, Joe? Remember when you watched it in jails?
And Joe's like, yeah. I didn't hang out with the group of people that watched it though. I didn't hang out with those.
Yeah, I don't hang out with those gays. What are you talking about?
Those gays.
Listen, I ain't gay. I just get blowjobs. All right. I don't bottom. All right.
I don't bottom. Sometimes it gets itchy back there. And I'm like, can someone scratch in there a little bit? If they have to use their dick, then so be it. Just whatever works best, But like, I ain't gay.
Doesn't count if it's a truck stop. Am I right? So Rachel's not amused by the jail talk. She's like, oh, really? So jail talk is funny now? Oh, that's hilarious. Really hilarious. I really don't approve of jail talk. So I'd love it if we could finish jail talk now. Rachel Fuda came to this like a very pissed off teacher,
Yes.
Like a very pissed off second grade teacher whose class never shuts up. She's just like, I'm not happy.
Yeah, she was very committed to making sure. I was just woken up from the nap.
I wasn't taking it all. Okay.
I was awake. I heard that entire conversation. Yeah, I remember all of it. I don't have to say what it was. I remember all of it. I was awake. Yeah, she was very like, I mean business, and because I mean business, I'm gonna show my forehead a lot today. Like the entire time she had her chin down on her chest and her forehead was up. So, oh really? No, you shut up right now. I'm awake.
Yeah, that's how she's doing it. Like she's like she fell asleep reading the newspaper. She's like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now they have to start again. So the producer's like, all right, guys, here we go. We're going to make some TV together. Television. Let's not be boring. That's why you're on TV, people. So we start, and Andy's like, I'm Andy Cohen, and I'm joined by the stunning women of the Garden State. There's paintings as tributes because we're in Ireland. That's how the season ended. Okay, so we all need to look at the Irish right now because Teresa and Melissa got in a fight. Crazy news. Call the newspapers, call the Times. The Irish Times.
All right.
Good morning, Ireland.
Yeah, because we went to Ireland. Anyway, hey, Teresa.
Hi, Andy.
Love the shorter hair. Very sophisticated. It's a little different than your wedding hair. Ha, ha.
I got married, Andy. I got married. My hair was really banging the wedding, Andy.
It's like, we know, Teresa just aired it last week. You ding dong. By the way, do love her hair.
Great.
It looks
great.
Beautiful. Best Teresa hair in a long time.
I agree. I think it looks. She like that hair was doing a lot. It was great. So then,
hi, Dolores. How are you? How's life with Paulie? You know where he's from? Ireland. Hey, everyone. We're from Paulie's life right now.
She's like, you know what? The floors in Paulie's house are very slippery. I'll tell you that much. I've got to wear socks in the house. It's like, well, thanks for coming. So, hey, Danielle, welcome to your first reunion. Your look does not look fresh out of the hamper today, does it? Okay, it looks fresh out of a claw machine. That's right, from a Chuck E. Cheese. So.
She's like, yeah, thanks. That's exactly what I was hoping for, Andy.
All right, newbie. Don't talk when not asked the question. Hey, Melissa. We're just going to skip right over you, Rachel. Hey, Melissa. You look amazing as always. How's life in your new home?
He did skip over Rachel, huh?
I guess he was going from the top line and going down, but it felt funny.
So he's like, wow, Melissa, speaking of fresh out of the hamper, your new house, huh? What's that about? You look stunning and you're in your new home now. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, we're still working on it, Andy, because the internet won't stop clowning me. But it's good. It's good. Melissa, just be honest and say that, She's like, oh, we moved in, but we're still working on it. You weren't until we all told you how ugly it was. Okay.
Until someone said it looked like a smashed accordion.
Girl, okay. but keep trying to fix the roof lines. You can't just fix the roof lines. There's 19 different roof lines, okay? But good luck. She's like, I'm going to put a couple of columns in front. That's going to help. That's going to help, Melissa, okay?
It's all fucked. It's all farce. So then,
Okay, well, can't wait to see it. Hey, Jennifer Aydin, surprise twist. We're going back to the other couch and right to the middle of it. Didn't make any sense. Jennifer Aydin, how's it going?
She's like,
Andy, I hurt my head, so I can't turn my head, so I gotta move like this, Andy. I move like, oh my God, where am I now? Someone swirl me back. Here I come. It's me, baby. It's me.
she literally is pivoting her whole body tonight. It's so funny whenever
I love
she does
this
it.
plot twist for Jen where she just has to come in and be like,
How dare you talk to me like that, huh?
So then she's like,
Well, I'm going to be wearing some blue tonight. It's not much of the evil eye, baby. And then it's like, oh, yeah, Ramona blue? She was like, no, I call it royal blue, the official color of the Paramus Mall. And I am the queen of it.
I love the Ramona diss, though. She's like, no, I just call it blue, okay? And he goes, yeah, so do most people. Better times. God. So, Marge, did you leave your arsenal at home? And Rachel's like, can we please not say the word arsenal anymore? We can't.
that's what we were talking about, right? I knew that. I was not asleep. Margaret's like, actually, I did not. I did not leave my arsenal at home. I was like,
Oh, okay.
And Teresa doesn't laugh. She's the only one who's like,
Not funny. I don't know what an arsenal is, but I don't like people calling me, curse words in London language.
London language. So then I was like, hey, Rachel. Yeah. Oh, I just saw your head jerk up there real quickly. I'll be sure not to throw any rat insults your way.
and when he says rat insults, they cut to Danielle trying to look all angry, and she's doing like really serious tongue work. She's like, for those on audio, she's just like sticking her tongue out under her lips and moving it around to show, like, we see you, Danielle. Okay, we know. I love the community theater level. I just love it.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Did you know that it can now take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open position? That is almost 2.5 months. I mean, if you're hiring for your growing business, do you really have that time to wait? I don't.
well, if you're listening today, I've got some advice for you. Stop waiting and start using ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find qualified candidates for all of your roles fast.
And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/crappins.
How is ZipRecruiter so efficient at helping you hire? Well, ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people for your roles.
Listen, you can check out the people that ZipRecruiter sends you, and if you really like one or two, you can personally invite them to apply with one click, which may make them apply even sooner. Speed up your hiring process with ZipRecruiter. See why 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs.
Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/crappins.
Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
From Wondery comes a new series, Flipping the Bird, Elon versus Twitter. A story about what happens when the richest man on the planet decides to acquire a powerful social media company in the name of free speech. But does he have what it takes?
It started off promising.
Or is this all just about Elon?
He's essentially mad that his tweets aren't performing as well as he would have expected them to.
It really just felt like, okay, this really is just a platform being ruled by a dictator who does things on his own whims.
And what will be left of Twitter by the time he's done?
Basically, my entire team was gone. By the end of it, infrastructure was just completely gutted. He'll tweet a thing, and then everyone's like, we got to work on that now because he tweeted it.
I'm supposed to believe this man is a genius.
It just felt like everything was kind of descending into chaos.
Follow Flipping the Bird wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, Prime members, you can listen to episodes ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today.
So Andy's like, wow, the fan reaction this season has been amazing. And Teresa's like,
Andy, give me your hand, Andy. No, that one. No, the other hand. No, the other hand. Okay, give me that one. Okay, I like that. Okay, put it right here. On my bubbies. I mean, come closer. Come, put it there. No, right there. No, I did. He's like, okay, your heart's beating fast. She's like, oh my God, it's real. Here we go. God, please be with me now.
And Andy's like, wow, I mean, those nails are like weapons. She goes,
yeah, well, just in case the claws need to come out and namaste.
So Andy's like, well, I wonder, without relitigating anything. All right, let me back that up. This word, I can already see Teresa's trying to see what that word means. It has nothing to do with not a pasta shape.
I ain't gonna let
Relitigating
her. That's
is
where
not
the trash can was. I ain't gonna let her again, all right?
All right, I could see you think that relitigating is a type of pasta. It's not. But I was gonna make some relitigating tonight. Yeah, you go on.
He's like, so what's the goal? Are you two just going to scream at each other all day, or what's going on, Melissa and Teresa? And she's like,
I want to close a chapter and move forward, all right? I wish her wells, all right, that she fall down one, and I wish her peace, all right? I want to close the chapter. That's what I want to do, because I'm a best-selling New York Times author. Good for me.
This is her reciting the lines that clearly the night before Louis says, this is all you do, Tree. Just say, I wish her well. I want peace, and I'm closing the chapter. That's all you gotta say, Tree. And so she's like,
we see clips of Louis from the next week's reunion, and Louis got the Bravo teeth, the new chompers that are too big for your mouth. They all go to that same dentist who gives them too big of teeth. I don't know if it's like a Bravo branding thing. I don't know if they get them bigger because Bravo owns 10% of those teeth for life. I don't know what it is, but they're all too big. So now he does this. He's like, he's got big lips now, so he's like, he's making the craziest fucking Louis faces. I cannot wait till next week. Okay, but that's next week.
But
right
maybe
now,
he's
let's concentrate on this week.
Maybe he's like hiding a secret camera behind those teeth for Bo Dietl. It's like, he's like, I'm on secret assignment for Dietl Enterprises. So Melissa's like, well, I think a lot of truth has to come out today, and I agree about closing it in peace. And so Aydin's like, okay, I never should have said the word relitigate. Okay. Teresa, how's your love bubble holding up?
It's amazing, Andy.
He's like, I owe you a gift still. She goes,
Nuh-uh, you sent me that little step stool thing.
He's like, oh no, that was just in case I ended up showing up at the wedding and was on camera. But I didn't go. You'll get a gift. So what was the hardest thing about your wedding day, Teresa? Was your dress too tight? Did your shoes not fit? Did you not like the lawn care at the event center? He's like,
my family. They hurted us, Andy. His family is so wonderful. And my family, is hurting Louie, Andy.
Wow. Shocked that your answer was family. Wow.
Yeah. So Melissa's like, how did anyone hurt him? Aside from, posting lots of disparaging Instagram stories exactly when your nuptials were happening, which admittedly was really disrespectful.
And Teresa's like, we watching the same show? And she says, well, I thought that was I was watching the show where you guys were trying to call me a cheater. And Teresa's like, we're not doing this.
Let's act like Beverly Hills does, all right? One person speaks at a time.
Only in New Jersey do they think Beverly Hills is classy.
I know.
Those are not classy women either, okay? They may pretend they're all richer than the rest of you, but those are not classy people.
They're not.
Let's drop that. Okay.
Kyle Richards is not old money, okay? Not even Kathy. Kathy acts like it, but even Kathy's not. Even Kathy, who's not coming back next season. So sad. So Andy's like, okay, going back to the wedding, why exactly did Dina bow out of being a bridesmaid? And Teresa says that basically Dina didn't want to be on camera. And Andy's like, yeah, but she could have signed a release. And which we all know Bravo still would have put her on camera, because I kind of feel like once you've signed saying that you want to be on camera once at some point in your life, Bravo has you for the rest of eternity. So,
well, Bravo, listen, Dina did come back for that season where Teresa was at camps, right? Was it when she was at camps or right before she went to camps?
It was when she was in camp.
It was when she was gone, right? And so they got Dina back, and they're like, Dina, we know you don't want to be on camera. You don't want to just come. We'll give you a sack of money. So she came. I've never seen a more miserable person to be like, she fucking hated that. I think that turned her forever against coming back on TV.
I agree. And I mean, like, who could blame her? She was on with the Marcheses, who were terrible. Oh, the twins. I mean, the twins weren't so bad, but it was the Marcheses who were really terrible. And their cast trip to like an Airbnb in Florida with like the fenced in pool.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I get Dina. I get why she doesn't want to be back.
This whole thing is very fishy. So Andy's like, because the rumor is that Dina didn't come because she had a falling out with Teresa because Louis screwed over Dina's husband, David. Right. So, or Joe. David. So we see a clip of Joe saying, yeah, David called me because you know what? I'm friends with David, right? So David called me. So you know what that is? That's Pizzagate Part 2, right? That's where they putting kids into furniture from IKEA and they shipping them out at... It's like, Joe, that's the wrong Pizzagate. Joe, can we rebrand this scandal and stop calling it Pizzagate? That's what they do. They're selling kids out of a pizza place. I think in New Jersey. Sorry, wrong Pizzagate, Joe. I hate hearing the word Pizzagate on Real Housewives of New Jersey. I can't take it. Okay.
I know. I hate that there even is a Pizzagate in the real world, not on Bravo. So
yes, I do too. Leave pizza out of it, okay?
Please.
So he's like, yeah, but you know what's Pizzagate? He means Pizza Oven Gate. For those looking up IKEA selling children in boxes, don't worry about it. He's talking about the Pizza Oven Gate that Teresa and what's his bun stole from Joe Gorga. He's like, yeah, he fucked up another relationship in Teresa's life. That's what he did, huh?
Yeah, and Teresa's saying, no, they had no business dealings whatsoever. I'm like, not sure if I'm going to Teresa, who literally went to jail for this sort of stuff when it comes to business, being a character witness about business dealings. So Melissa's basically saying that he didn't want to be part of the show, the husband, and that Joe stepped out of line by even bringing it up in the first place. So what are you gonna do?
But says it was basically true, what Joe said. So Andy's like, so Teresa, why wouldn't you invite Donna to your wedding out of respect for your father? Oh, please. If her dad has ghost Twitter, he knows that Donna liked a bunch of tweets trash-talking Teresa, and that woman deserves nothing. And I stick by it. Don't fucking invite Donna anywhere. Why? What did Donna do? Donna liked a bunch of shitty tweets. Donna gets no invite from me either. I'm not inviting Donna anywhere. What do you think of that? Come for me. Come.
Everyone come for Ronnie on that. So then Teresa's like...
She's like, well, when I was doing my list, like, I didn't want to invite her mom and then not invite the rest of the family because they weren't on my mind.
And Melissa's like, but they were on your mind when your dad wasn't there. He wasn't here. And you needed to introduce Louis to family. She's like, huh? And Melissa's like, at my shore house. When you need us, good. When you don't need us, you're like, I'm good, guys. And
so please, like Teresa really needed Louis to meet Marge Simpson's sisters to make her relationship work. What the fuck kind of argument is this? That's stupid. He should have needed us when he needed to show Louis you had a family. Louis already knew you were a piece of crap. He's watched every episode of this show before he stalked Teresa to get on it in the first place. Okay.
Well, then I love Teresa goes like,
no, that's not how it was. Like, even when I was single, Andy, like, you know what? Like, when Joe left it, like, they never even asked me out to dinner. Like, I just would be home alone, just sad, being like, I'm home alone. Like, no one even invites me out to dinner.
And then Melissa's like, we have photos. And they show all these photos of like Teresa out with the gang. They're all having dinner. So then she's like,
oh no, I think I invited myself to that.
Yeah, so we catch her in a lie, but we also only see pictures of one dinner. I mean, that was a really long time to just have one dinner. But that was when Teresa thought that Melissa's neighbor was really cute, so they all went to dinner. And then Andy's like, well, she's just naming nights that you went to dinner. She goes, no, I invited myself. So Andy's like, well, what's funny is I remember when you were dating Louis in the early time, I saw Melissa and she said you guys were hanging out. She goes, yeah, because I introduced them to them, and then my brother is the one who was like, Louis, come on the show, and I didn't want to bring Louis on the show, but you know what, for Joe and Melissa, it's all about the show, it's all about making money,
As if it's not for literally every single other person here on these couches. So
if you didn't totally find this random person and make your fairy tale, your storyline, so you could get your People magazine wedding all paid for and then get all the endorsements that come from it. Girl, please.
Literally being happier with your family being in disarray for public consumption than to like have a functional relationship. So Melissa's like, no, Louis was begging when we were doing girls trip, like before he was even on the Housewives, he kept on telling Joe, let's fly out there and like get on the show. Like, so he did want to be on TV, just like he knew exactly who you were when he met you. And then Mark goes, listen, he wanted to go out with Alexia. Okay, Alexia Echeverria. Can you believe that? Guess what? Cross-pollinating the franchises this Louis does.
You are a liar.
And she's screaming, like, how dare you? And Melissa's like, Teresa, honey, you've been doing this for years, honey. It's time to come up with a new scheme.
Yeah, scheme.
Scheme.
Was she trying to say shtick and then like pivoted back to scheme?
No, Melissa's dumb too. Teresa's just so dumb, she overshadows how dumb Melissa is. But it's like this year when Marge was like, yeah, Melissa, you can see that she's kind of related to Melissa. Or
to Teresa.
You know, they're both related or whatever.
So then Teresa's like,
and you know what? It's going to be over after tonight. I cannot wait.
And so Melissa goes, what? Where are you going? She goes,
you're leaving.
Oh, am I? I didn't know, Andy.
Well, I don't know how we're supposed to coexist, the two of us.
Andy's like, whoa, big word from Teresa. Coexist. Very impressed.
Well, maybe by the end of the day, we're going to figure something out.
Melissa's like, don't you mean coexist? Idiot. So let me just say, it never really worked out when you give the producers a public ultimatum that either somebody else leaves or you're going to leave. I don't really remember that ever working out for people. Even you, Teresa. Okay? Mm-hmm. I don't see them firing Melissa after this. Do you?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're going to try to let it cool off, and they're going to try to do some manipulation to bring them back together. I think the producers may have realized that they broke them, right? Because like Danielle saying something to Melissa, like let's not fool ourselves. There clearly was a producer saying, you should really bring it up at the party. You should bring it up, Danielle. So the producers are like, oh shit, we went too far. We got to put this back together.
Oh yeah, and we find out how much they all fucked up a little bit later, which is pretty funny. So Marge is making a crazy face, and Melissa's doing that sad thing. You know, where she's like, I'm just so victimized. She goes, that's really sad that she feels that way. And Marge's like, it's okay. You're all right. You have me, Lexi, Nina, Benino, and the whale. Okay. Oh my God. Nino, Benino, and the whale. It's a new story. I'm coming out with it immediately.
But what if I rebrand it as Everybody Poops? Oh, look at that. Another copyright case. Can't do anything.
All right, I want to talk about the hair that broke the internet. Why? You already asked her about her bobby pins, okay? So they start talking about the wedding, and Andy's like, asked Marge what she thought. She's like, oh my God, listen, I cried. You know, that's what I thought. I thought it was beautiful. Okay, show the clip, please. Roll the clip of me sobbing so Teresa can see how I'm sobbing. I'm absolutely sobbing at her wedding. All right, show the clip, Andy. And then they show the clip, and she's in those crazy sunglasses where you can still see her eyes. She's like dabbing her tears like that and looking right into the camera like, are you getting this? Because I'm sobbing. I'm sobbing right now.
And he's like, why are you crying so much? 'Cause, you know, it was emotional. You know, she walked out by herself. I could cry just thinking about it. I could cry. I won't because she's a monster. But I could cry. I could cry theoretically. But you know, it was very bittersweet. She looked beautiful for an idiot. For a giant wildebeest with a wig on top. She looked beautiful. Okay.
And he's like, well, what was your reaction to seeing Marge very obviously and loudly crying at your wedding? And Teresa's like,
I was touched, you know, because, I mean, listen, I went to look for her at my wedding, you know? Like, I was at my wedding, and I was, like, with Marge. And then I was like, hi, Marge. So, you know, I'm a very caring person, Andy.
And Marge is like, yeah, I was so happy for her. And then
to see the finale and to see what was going on behind my back. I just couldn't believe it, Andy. Absolutely devastated on the floor. Devastated, Andy.
I had nothing to do with that, though.
Okay, you know what? All right. Oh, please. And Snickers creamer sells itself, okay? I am repulsed. I am disgusted. I am shocked. I'm absolutely on the floor, dead shocked with you right now.
And then Danielle jumps up as the lackey, like,
what show did you watch? She had nothing to do with it.
And Rachel's like, I'm awake. No one's talking to you. Is that context appropriate, Andy? Anyone? I'm very much awake.
Whoever was the one who got something to do with it? Who's watching this show?
Danielle yelling, and Martin's like, "Oh, I don't give a shit about that little tiny court reporter. Okay, what is she? A pint of milk? Okay, a pint of milk reporting on court cases. Nobody cares about her. Okay, I don't care about that. What I care about is private investigators. Okay, that's what I care about."
All right, Mayday, getting too far ahead of the schedule. I got a lot of cards, okay? Trying really hard not to drop them like a Vanderpump Rules.
Oh,
so come on, help me out here.
Oh, say it again. A Vanderpump Rules what?
I'm trying not to drop my cards again, okay? So don't get me too confused.
Sorry, I ever talked to you that because I'm very, very upset about this, okay? Because guess what? We are going to discuss it. We're gonna talk about Bo Dietl D-Dumb and Bo Dietl D-D. What do you think about that?
Okay, like already, the amount of time that we've devoted to Bo Dietl is really killing our brand right now. Okay, we can't have this guy.
No, is the video Bo Dietl video?
Yeah, we should look it up. Bo Dietl's like, I just want to say to the public, I didn't do I wasn't hired to do no investigating and no cast of Real Housewives or whatever's. Actually, I don't know if that sounds like his voice. I just saw that he made a video saying that. I didn't actually watch the video.
Okay, I have it on page 6 here. Let's see if I can pull it up. There's probably gonna be an ad first. Okay, there's an ad. So if you just give me a moment here while the ad plays, and I can.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Help Dad love the way he looks.
Help Dad love his dad bod.
It's to earn $25 in MW money for every 75.
Oh no, I clicked the ad while I was trying to mute it. Okay, come on, Bo Dietl.
Now through June 3rd.
Wow.
The more you spend.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, the ad is going on. It is not sponsored by Bo Dietl and Associates. Okay. So now it's, I hate this.
Is it going to come on the video too? Because what if we just like play it and it's quiet on the video?
No, it was one of those things where page 6 was like, here's the video, and it's actually a video about Watch What Happens Live. So I apologize.
Oh, God damn it. Well, whatever. The point is he made some video but the point being he made a video that said he was not hired by Louis to investigate anybody. That didn't mean, he didn't say he didn't investigate anybody. He just said that Louis didn't pay him to do it. So who knows? Maybe Louis said, what's going on over here? Could you investigate further? And he did it just to be nice. I don't know. But we don't know.
Well, you know what they say about Bo Dietl? Very trustworthy source about anything. So anyway, now it's time to...
He's like, hey, okay, let's talk about Dolores. Okay, this season, Patterson Dolores turned into a downright mush. More mush. All thanks to her Irish love, Paulie. Hey, how would you say Paulie's changed you?
Oh, Andy, my whole life I've always had to feel so guarded. So meeting Paulie helped me break down those walls, which incidentally I had hired Frank to do, and he literally never did them. It was big. It was huge for me.
I was going to say, Dolores, I don't know that she's over Frank because she's still relating feelings of love to construction, which is really not great. So Annie's like, did everyone notice Dolores shifted? I'm like, Dolores literally did not shift at all. Dolores is just like, guess what? I'm in love now. It's so fun. So they talk about that a little bit, and Andy's like, Tony from Pizza Roll says, it seems like you have no interest in Frank. Now that you have Paulie, do you miss Frank? Do you? Come on. Do you miss those protein-shaped farts? What do you miss the most?
You know what? It's not no interest. It's just the dynamics have changed for me, to be in a relationship. Like, I need to be around people who understand they speak English in Ireland, okay? And I'll always be there for Frank, at a safe distance from those protein farts, and he'll always be family, like a loud, spitting part of your family, but he has a separate life from mine with a very dumb person on the Jersey Shore, okay?
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So they keep trying to get her all riled up about this Frank thing. And she's like, I don't care about Frank. Sorry. And so they keep trying, but isn't Frank living with David? And isn't that weird? And I mean, why is David, are your kids still friends with David? That's so weird. Is your family betraying you? And she's like, I don't care. Like, literally, who cares? Okay. It's working for them. And Andy's like, well, Paulie told Frank he's already got a ring. And she goes, you know what? I think what he was doing, as they say in Ireland, slagging him. That's what he was doing. He was slagging him. Okay. I think that's a very bad word.
Slagging him off. Okay. And Andy's like,
all right, well, how long has Paulie been? Oh, he's like, how long has Paulie been divorced?
Oh, by the way, he's not. He's been separated for 14 years. And the music's like all tense. And like this was used a lot in the trailers. Like, oh my God, Paulie is not divorced. And then he's like, well, why is he divorced? And he's like, oh, I don't think there was a need for it. So he didn't think he was going to get married again. But I think he's going to get divorced.
Yeah, they've been making a lot of hay. This was the thing that Marge talked about at our live show, where she had just said this in the after show that he wasn't divorced. And they were like, how dare you betray Margaret? I looked it up for everybody who's offended. The term slagging is not a bad word. It refers to playful teasing or banter among friends, and it's a cherished tradition in Ireland. Now let's see what it means in Urban Dictionary.
In Urban Dictionary, it's like, come on her face. I just slagged her.
Well, Urban Dictionary, a slag is a woman that fucks around behind her friends' or lovers' backs with numerous men. So I guess that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Like a Melissa Gorga.
Okay, Jennifer, get out of Urban Dictionary.
According to Lauren Dictionary over there.
So it's a Dolores segment. It's not the most exciting segment, but I don't need excitement from Dolores. Dolores plays her role very well, and I love her the way she is. But I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
It was funny to me that they teed up this big scandalous moment that Paulie is still married, that there's something terrible here, and Dolores is like, oh yeah, no, he's still married, but he's gonna get divorced. So that's it. They're like, oh, cool.
So it's break time, and Melissa's like, oh my God, everybody, look how much of my dress has gotten on my nails. Isn't that crazy? I've got blue all over my nails from my dress. No one is surprised, Melissa, with your Shein fucking dress, okay? No one's shocked that it's falling off all over the floor and your body. Okay.
I think, did Joe Gorga make that dress? So just wondering, quality control issues.
Was that supposed to be one of his marble countertops that just didn't go right?
Yeah. So then Teresa's saying that, she's like,
oh, Andy, I love your daughter's blue eyes.
And Andy's like,
yeah. Ben's saying his new thing is that he wants to have another daddy. So that was sort of my Bumble moment for the nation. I'm looking, guys. Hashtag looking ? Anyone want to DM me?
Anyone? Tree's like,
let me give you the number of my psychic, and she'll tell you when you're gonna get him. All right. Plus, she's only $100.
I was like, that's all you paid that poor woman? My God, she wrote you a 10-page text for your wedding. Oh, someone, by the way, pointed out that they think that's who sent her that text when she was saying the lady who took care of her father. They're saying that was the psychic coffee tea reader.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true. I got it in a email and a DM, as the kids call them, on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Teresa just totally blew up that psychic's pricing because, everyone else, she's like, hello, my name is Miranda Fastelovis, and I charge $300 for a psychic reading because Teresa's my big client. She's like,
yeah, she only charges $100.
Yeah. So Andy warns Danielle that she's next. She's like,
all right, I'm ready. Bring it on. Bring it on.
He's like, Danielle? She's like,
oh, how could you treat me like that? I'm going home. Andy. I can't take it.
Okay, well, I only said your name, but I guess I reminded you the way your brother said your name. I don't know what this is all about.
Oh, my God.
So he asks for how many guys her kid is dating. She's like,
oh, she's dating 5 guys, Andy. She's like me in the 5-year-old Bartlett. She's really something. That girl's my dream. My dream come true, Andy.
Wow, and you made all those outfits for her. Let me guess, was your sewing machine the Brother brand?
Oh, Andy, how could you say that?
Surely you had to have something playing in the background. God, the only thing was with another hours to fill that much clothes making must be Big Brother.
Andy, come on now. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I just got a text message that apparently my DVD is missing of Oh Brother, where art thou? Andy, come on now. Andy.
So we see the Danielle montage and her brother.
Everything that's got on with my brother. If he called me, I would show up.
And
it's like she is basically like a parody, like that.
You know what? I would do it. You know, like her holding the fist against her mouth to cry, like that. No one cries like
That's
that.
how
Except her and her
cries. Dad. Yeah, her and her dad.
I saw this how you cry in the movies.
So she's gonna see him. She hasn't seen him for
3 years, Andy, but I'm gonna see him tomorrow at my grandma's wake.
And Andy's like, have you reached out to him? And she's like,
I'm just laughing. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because Andy will be like, "Oh, you're seeing it tomorrow, great!
Oh, it's a funeral. Oh,
yeah."
Okay.
And he's like, "So it's a wake, huh?" Rachel's like, "Huh?
I am.
I wasn't
I
sleeping.
am awake.
Well,
I am awake. Yes,
I've been awake
I am
this whole time."
Yeah. Who said something about being awake? Because I'm awake. I'm awake. By the way, Danielle, I can't. That's gonna go over so well when you go up to your brother and be like,
Hey, I know that we're mourning Grandma, but you want to talk to me again? Because I've been talking about you on TVs.
I'm sure his brother will really enjoy that.
And she says, Andy asks if they've reached out, and she's like,
Yeah, we sent a gift, and they sent the gift back, Andy. It was a pretty sweater that I got. A sweater, can you believe it? So then the show comes out. That didn't help.
And he's like, do you think he watched the show? And she's like,
This was his favorite show. That's pretty ironic, right? That's pretty ironic.
And he goes,
He would have wound up on the show. That is crazy. No one ever thought of that.
his brother is so on this show next year. If you guys don't have the brother and the wife on the show, you have failed. This better not be some empty promise plot.
Exactly. Also, I'd like to see the sweater that they sent back because Danielle's like,
I said a nice sweater.
And then we see the sweater. It's like,
Merry Christmas to you and your slag wife.
Yeah.
I said it was a very nice sweater. It said I was stupid and then had an arrow pointed next to it. You know?
So
Andy's like, well, it's Cecilia from Pizza Land says, it's obvious you're hiding something. Is there anything you might have done to cause the rift with your brother? She says, no, I'm praying that Margaret, you know something in your arsenal, but please tell me. Please tell me I have something. I'm in my arsenal, Margaret.
Rachel's like, oh my God, enough with the word arsenal. I can't stand the word arsenal anymore, okay? And Marge's like, no, listen, I know nothing, okay? I didn't know anything, and I don't want anything bad for you, okay? If you ever get married again, I'm literally going to fall on the floor sobbing. Okay, that's all I want for you.
And Jennifer Aydin, by the way, Jennifer Aydin's so funny. She pivots around with her stiff neck. And she goes,
do you think that Margaret contacted him, Danielle? Do you think she would do that? Is that the premise of this? Is that what you're saying? That Margaret contacted her brother? She's evil, isn't she?
Just trying to plant seeds in Danielle's stupid head.
Yeah, it's like, shut up, you fucking idiot. No, listen, I don't want trauma for your family. That's the last thing I want in the world, okay? And Andy's like, wow, but you did make some comments about the trauma with her brother in Ireland that seemed below the belt. And then we see a clip of it when Danielle's like, oh yeah, you can forgive, but you never forget. And Marge's saying, oh, you know what? And that's why you're going to have problems with your family for the rest of your life, okay? Because you don't forgive and forget. That's like common advice you'd get from a fortune cookie. Forgive and forget. Yeah. Why are we pretending that that's below the belt when everything else going on here, Teresa is about to call, or Teresa and Teresa and Jen both call Marge ugly and old the entire reunion, and no one ever calls that below the belt. It's like for reading very common sense advice, very below the belt, guys.
Also, I would love for Margaret to come out with her own fortune cookies. You open it up and it just says, you look gorgeous, hon. Oh, thank you, fortune cookie.
You open it, it's like, congratulations, I've made you a new logo. Okay, you don't have to use it if you don't want to.
It's like, you're just a stupid person, and I hate you. You're a stupid, dumb, insignificant person. Wow, that fortune cookie really had it out for me.
Touch a nerve. It eats a cracker. The fortune cookie just opens up and eats a cracker.
You look like a zebra's asshole.
Husband's in the pool. It's just like Marge lines from over the years.
I know. So,
that one's for you, Joan. That one's for you.
Joe, take a shower. What? I'm not even Joe. Why is this fortune? I mean, I'll take a shower. But why
if your name is Joe,
cookie?
change your shirt. It's hideous. So, Andy's like, any regrets for saying that to her in Ireland? She goes, listen, I'm going to tell you. When she said, I forgive, I don't forget. I mean, I think that's the theme of Housewives New Jersey, okay? Because it may have come out harsh, and I didn't mean it to be harsh. But if you don't forgive and forget, you'll get no results, which is what's happening now, okay? Because there's no forgiving, there's no forgetting, and look where we are. I'm on the floor sobbing about it. So Jen's like,
actually, Andy, I agree with that.
They're like, could you swivel Jen back to face Andy? She's like,
sorry, lazy Susan went a little too far. Right there. I agree with that, Andy.
And Melissa goes, I'm very good at forgiving and forgetting. I was like, okay, Melissa, let's.
It's not about you, okay?
And then
be one moment not about you two. She's just as bad as Teresa.
And then Teresa goes,
Dietl. I think you mean ditto, not Dietl. Ditto.
Oh, really? You're good at forgiving and forgetting? Oh, my God. Delusion at its highest level. And Marge keeps trying to keep it on track. She's like, as harsh as that might have sounded in the minute in Ireland. And Tree's like, I've been doing it for years. You know, she's desperate to make up with her brother. And they just ignore them. Everyone just ignores Teresa and Melissa trying to make it about themselves. And Andy's like, well, it landed differently watching it, Marge.
Marge is like, I've been nothing but kind to you, okay? I was sweet to you. I wanted her to help her business. I created a logo for her. I gave her great information, great advice and everything. And Teresa goes,
oh, yeah? Well, she didn't help me. She always said she wanted to help me. She didn't help me.
Teresa, by the time Margaret came on the show, you're like a multi-million-dollar person selling cookbooks and yoga pants. You don't need Margaret's help. Danielle has like selling tutus in her basement.
Did you catch it? Marge says, I gave her a great tagline, which I don't know if she meant for this or if she meant for her business.
I wrote it down as I gave her a great tan line, and it didn't make sense to me, so I just assumed I wrote it down wrong, and I admitted it entirely. I gave her a great tan line.
I just thought it was funny. Marge is just so funny because she does stuff for you and then writes down what she did for you, so later she can be like, oh, guess what I did for you? Everything. Logo, tagline, office space. So yeah, Tree's like,
she never helped me. Oh, yeah.
And she's, I tried to, and you stood me up, Teresa. Which I think is funny because Marge did try to help Teresa, and Teresa just kept blowing her off. So Teresa's like,
oh, yeah, you know who she'll help? The new kid on the block, because she wants you to be on her side, like the new kids on the block, all right? And you know what I told them? Fuck you, I like the Backstreet Boys to it instead.
You got the wrong stuff. Ow, ow, ow.
And so Danielle, she's basically saying that Margaret was trying to recruit Danielle. I'm like, well, do you see Jennifer Aydin? Like, do you see Danielle? I mean, don't act like you're not actively recruiting people. Everyone's recruiting people to their side at all times on this show.
And Danielle's like, I'm not denying that. I ain't denying that, all right? And I don't know if she's saying she's not denying that she knows she was being recruited or she's not denying that Marge helped her. I can't really tell. She's just yelling it over and over. And first of all, being nice to someone so that they'll be your friend is a normal thing to do in what we call friendships and relationships. That's how the world works. You know, you meet somebody, you like them, you're like, hey, how can I help you? That's kind of normal. Can anybody in this audience please name one thing that Teresa's ever done for anybody ever? Just one would be good. Besides her parents, because I know a lot of you will be like, oh my God, she had her parents living with her. Okay. Anybody else? Literally anybody not in her family. Has she ever done one kind thing for anybody? That would be great.
Yeah, I would love to see. I'd love to see what that is. So, now,
futon from, is it a couch or is it a bed? I don't know, asks.
Didn't come up with anything today. Just this is where I'm at.
Hey, that's a real person, okay? I really liked watching you with Danielle, and you defended her in Ireland, but then at Dolores' Ireland party, this is for Melissa, by the way, everything unraveled. Where do you stand?
And Melissa's like, I thought that we had an authentic bond that was formed in the hallowed aisles of Envy Boutique. But looking at Danielle, as you know, she was a young mom. She was pretty. She's got kids. She seems dumb as a doorknob, easily moldable even by someone like me. I was like, what's not to love?
Yeah. And I took you shopping for Envy, and I wanted to show you the ropes of how I run my success. You don't do that business. Everybody you sell a bunch of fake shit at that business, Melissa. Come on, get off of it. And also, Danielle didn't do anything to you. You turned on Danielle. You were the one who took what Danielle told you and got her in all that trouble with everybody else. So I don't know why you're acting like Danielle did something to you.
Well, yeah. That's a gray area, I think, because Danielle was confronting Melissa about this under the guise of wanting to be a good friend, but it was like the wrong place to do it. It felt her motivations felt a little murky. You know what it was? It's more like Danielle was trying to turn Melissa against Marge, even if it meant potentially mortifying Melissa at a party. So
But even if you don't like it, that information didn't come from Danielle, and everybody knows it. Melissa already knew this information, and Danielle didn't do it. I mean, sorry.
Yeah,
she brought it on camera. I know that's the thing. But she was also telling her what everybody had been saying on camera about her the whole season. So I don't know. I think there's a lot to villainize Danielle over. I just think Melissa's full of shit when she knows that it had nothing to do with Danielle.
Yeah, I guess you make a good point. I don't get the sense that there's actually that much of a rift between the two of them, because Andy's like, is there a path forward? And Teresa's like,
yeah, she just wanted to lure Danielle to her side of it.
And Melissa's like, that's an assassination of character. I'm very welcoming to new people. And Teresa goes,
storyline.
And Melissa's
Which is
like,
also,
what?
Teresa's just so dumb. She's like mad over things she doesn't understand. Like accusing people of making a storyline by befriending new cast members is just stupid. Like that's what you have to do on the show, Teresa. And Melissa goes, storyline? What do you want to make friends with Rachel for then? Or she goes, why do you want to make friends with Rachel? And she goes, what do you mean? And Rachel goes, oh, she doesn't want to be my friend. I don't think she wants to be my friend. And Melissa's like, yeah, you know what, Teresa? I didn't make a point right now, but I'm going to say this. The things that you and your haters say, they're the same things. You talk just like your haters.
Yeah. And Marge goes, you and your tree stumps. And Teresa goes,
tree stumps? Look at what you look like.
She goes, no, I'm not calling you a tree stump. Oh my God. Do I have to put this in a fortune cookie for you to understand it?
It's the way Marge rolls her eyes so violently.
Margaret's like, I cannot believe I hitched myself to this wagon for so many years.
Fucking idiot. So she's like, I'm not calling you a tree stump, stupid. And she goes, woohoo, over the head. And it's below the belt for Marge to say forgive and forget, but it's okay for Tree to call her ugly. What the fuck with this show? So Andy's like, Danielle, even Gretchen Wiener from Was Cooler Than You says that no one took you seriously and you were the butt of their jokes all season. How do you feel about that, joke butt? And she's like, it was disgusting, Andy. It was a total big girl mentality. They think they're better than me. And you call me and you want to be me. You call me a wannabe. And you know what? That's the truth. Because wait for it. I want to be nothing like you. Or you, all of you. You can make fun of what I wear, and how I talk, and how I do my hair. And I was like, oh, God, girls. It's just, please. She's like going off. And Rachel just starts laughing. It's so rehearsed and going so poorly.
I know. She's like, who is this crazy lady? And Margaret's like, well, okay, you know what? First of all, we were arguing. Okay, we were arguing that night, okay? And you had a great first season. You got a ton of endorsements. And I think it's great, unlike some people who've been here for, years and years. She's like, ugh, this is boring. I want to fight with Jen. She's more fun to bicker with.
I know. She's like, I don't even want to play with you right now. Okay, sorry, you're not fun. And Melissa cracks up at the endorsements thing. And Jen
falls for it.
Hey, wait a minute. Spin me to the left. I don't need endorsements, all right? I'm already rich. I'm already in Chanel. I was in Chanel before this show, and I'm going to be in Chanel after this show. Who needs them?
And then Marge is like, no, I'm talking to Danielle and complimenting the amazing Danielle and her many different endorsements from the Penny Saver and various avocado and pear companies. And Andy's like,
Hey, well, Danielle, it is interesting because you came off to me as pretty tough, and I was surprised by how emotional you are and that you left situations a few times. What I'm trying to say is, do you want to be on the show still? Because you're going to have to change that next season.
She's like, I was just shocked because Rachel was like my friend, you know? And I don't know how many times I can tell you.
Marge goes, I just want to say, you shut up. She's like, please don't start telling me to shut up, okay? I'm your logo maker, okay? What are you going to do? Pass a Burger King and, you know, curse whoever made the crown? I mean, come on.
By the way, I totally skipped over the most important part of this entire thing, right? Which is when Jen's saying,
I don't need any fucking endorsements. I mean, last I checked, Andy, I don't see your endorsements. Last time I checked, you don't need it. He's like, I do it like literally all the time. Of course, I love my endorsements.
He's like, thank you, endorsements. Yeah, sorry, I skipped that.
No, I skipped it.
No, I skipped it.
It was my
fault. It was my fault. I got
away. Well, you know what? I just got a new fortune cookie that says, you're both disheveled drug addicts.
So she's like, yeah, please don't tell me to shut up. And Danielle goes,
oh, yeah, well, she twisted what I said. She took it and she twisted it.
And then we see the clips of what really happened when she said,
everyone keeps telling us that Mars has got this arsenal or whatever.
And Rachel's like, I don't like this talking about a thing. And then later, Rachel's saying, when I was shopping with Danielle, she was saying you have an arsenal. Okay, that was misrepresenting it. You didn't say everyone was saying it. You made it sound like she said it. So I don't think you did it on purpose.
The flashback was actually misrepresenting because remember, I actually went back and rewatched that scene because I got so sick of this argument. And I rewatched the scene, and what Danielle says is basically,
everyone says that Margaret's got an arsenal, and you know what, she knows this and that. I'm starting to think it's true.
So she basically says, everyone says this, and I now agree because everyone says it. So
okay. Well, very good research.
Thanks.
Wow, look at you.
Now I'm like, I better double check that one more time. But yeah.
You're a real dramaturg.
Love it. Thanks.
Ding.
Thanks. You look great,
really,
boy.
thank you, because I would have looked even dumber. So,
wow, that's a very crucial point. Yeah.
And then Danielle's like,
yeah, she tried to make me look bad.
And Rachel's like, you said she had an arsenal, and that's what I told her. Like, come on. And Andy's like,
okay, well, what was your reaction, Marge, when you actually saw the scene?
Marge is like, you know, it was more mild. It was more mild than I thought it was going to be. Okay, there's the truth about it. It wasn't infuriating. I was not sobbing. I was not on the floor.
It was like Teresa making Mexican food. It was just more mild than I was anticipating. You know, it didn't seem like that. And so Andy's like, yeah, it didn't really seem like that big of a deal to me. And so Margaret's like, and it wasn't, you know. But like, I don't think that Rachel misrepresented it. You know, she'd just woken up from whatever nap she was taking. And I think she was just trying to get her bearings.
And so Jen's like,
absolutely, she misrepresented it, Andy.
And Rachel's like, no one asked you, Jen. She goes,
it doesn't matter. I'm here for my opinion. I'm endorsed by Olivia. The eagle.
So Dolores, Andy's like, Dolores, do you think that Rachel repeated it the way it was said? She's like, yes.
Okay.
Glad we had this talk. Okay. And Jen's like,
she twisted it. She was fueling the fire.
And Dolores is like, well, I mean, look, repeating it was fueling the fire. Let's face it. Am I right? And Marge is like, oh, God, you know, Danielle just took it so hard the whole season. And Danielle says, but it's because you guys kept bringing it up. And they're like, no, you were the one who kept bringing it up, you idiot. And she goes,
are you kidding me? I just kept coming going, I hope these bitches ain't coming for me today. I just hope they're not coming for me today. You just kept coming for me over and over again. You did it. You did it.
Literally, Danielle, you were the one who went psycho over this. Like, you were the one who was like,
Rachel is a rat.
And then of course, Rachel finds out that she's called a rat. So Rachel's like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, they're coming for me. So Rachel's like, you take zero accountability for your part. which is also why this goes back to your relationship with your brother. Okay, calm yourself.
Well, that's below the belt. If you're going to say something, call her an old, ugly hag. That's the kind of criticism we allow here. All right.
I apologize, Andy. I will send you a free tile. Anyway, this goes back to relationship. You can consider that an endorsement too, but that's an endorsement for you, Andy. You're sitting here being like, I don't know what I did, but like, where's your accountability?
Yeah, where is it? Just because we have to repeat ourselves because it's a reunion and that's what it's about. I think Rachel was a rat over this. I don't think this was cool. That girl was just trying to gossip with her in a store. What else are you supposed to do with your friends in a store? Not talk shit about people? And then she runs over and gets the new girl in trouble with everybody else so she can look cool to them. And I thought that was uncool. I think Rachel is a very bad new friend, okay? She's someone who's going to pretend she's going to be nice to you while she needs you because you're both new. And then she's going to dump you the second that she's on a more popular team. Shame on you. Dong, shame. Dong, shame. Shame, dong. Shame, dong.
Well, there it is on the record. I'm Team Rachel.
Yeah. So Danielle's like, I don't know what I did, Rachel. And she's like, if I was an asshole and a bitch, I will own it.
And Rachel's like, you're an asshole and a bitch to me, and you don't even own that. So how are you going to own it for your brother?
So let's see. So Andy says Dolores has known Rachel a long time. Is that true?
Yeah, because like a fitness thing with Frank or something like that.
Wasn't that Brittany? Wasn't that how Brittany knew? Oh, Brittany knew her for a long time.
It was something like that.
Over tanning in a fitness competition. Remember when they came out like two little skinny rotisserie chickens? And then I guess Dolores must have known it through Frank. Okay, that makes sense.
But by the way, right before that is brought up, when Rachel is basically saying, like, you don't ever take accountability, Danielle loses her mind and just starts screaming,
"You're the biggest bitch that ever walked the face of the earth!"
They're like, what the hell? She's like, don't take out your insecurities on me.
Me, my insecurities, my balls drag out the door. I'm not insecure.
I'm like, what? Can we please get this woman a shot of booze or something? Can we get
calm
her down?
She said that my balls drag out the door, and Rachel goes, "Oh yeah, will you leave the door where you walk out of?" I was like, "Oh, good one. You guys are killing it."
I didn't hear Rachel say that, but that is a sick burn.
That was her response. So then we get into Dolores, and look, what do you think, Dolores? You know Rachel, and she's like, "Listen, they need to drop this. All right, it's so minute, it's so stupid." The insults come. It just gets worse. Just leave it behind. All right. Just frank it. Just
leave it on the Jersey Shore with some idiot. Okay.
Have dinner with it once every 3 months. You know what I mean? And Rachel's like, well, I will say this. I like Danielle. Okay. You're a good mom. Okay? And I don't like what you said about me in your confessionals. The punishment didn't fit the crime. All I said was that you said that she had an arsenal because it's what you heard. But you continue to double down and never apologize for your part. And she's like, because you were mean to me every time. And Andy's like, okay, can you, instead of responding like that, why don't, she said you're a good mom, so you say something nice back to her. And she's like,
I love Tile, all right?
He's like, well done. Well done. You're going to get a second season. Congratulations.
Her daughter next year is going to be debuting a dress that's just made of tile. So Dolores is like, I think moving forward, we make a pact that no matter what's said this season, it never gets said again. We leave it here, girls. If you want to come back to this group, never mention your stupid fight again. Thank you.
Yeah, this group who, let's go. As we have the same fight over and over every single season between these Melissa and Teresa. So Andy's like,
okay, let's move on. Melissa's life should have been on the up with her new house that everyone's making fun of on the internet. God, it's hilarious. There's a special article in Curbed about this house. It's so good. It is so good.
Yeah, people were coming for your design, Melissa. And then she has such a funny response. She goes, hey, I'm the one who has to live there, so I don't care what anybody says. Like, were you meaning to say, I'm the one who has to live there, so don't make me feel worse because I'm the one who's suffering in this stupid house? Because then she's trying to be defiant, like, I don't care. I love my ugly, misshapen pock on the history of architecture.
Yeah, which is why you're having it all redone as we speak. Come on. So Andy asks who's seen it, and Marge and Rachel both slowly raise their hands, and they're like, it's gorgeous, Andy. She's like, yeah, it is Good. It's gorgeous. Who knows who that cookie was meant for? I don't know.
I realized how you have to look at their house. Okay, just pretend it's like the back cover of Mad Magazine. And what you do is you take a picture and you just scrunch it together until you see only one little triangle. And then it looks like a beautiful house.
So the rumors were that Fuda just got on this show because she gave all the tile in the house for free to Melissa. This is something I read on Reddit a long time ago.
Oh, talking about
so I like this question from Andy. It's like, did Fuda Tile do the floors? And Rachel's like, yeah, Melissa's demanding. I'll tell you that. And Melissa changed her mind 100 times, Andy, 100 times. But it's worth it because now look at me making arguments like, where you leave, the door where you walk out of. So worth it, Andy. Zillow from You Ugly asked Melissa, you moved to Teresa's neighborhood and she moved away. Was that intentional?
And Melissa's like, no, actually, she moved onto my block, like 2 doors down, almost like that band 3 Doors Down, but 2 doors down instead, so not quite as good as that. Wow! And Teresa's like,
yeah, because they're like 8 and I'm like 16. So like...
I'm like, Teresa, she's giving you some material there. You can say, where's your...
Look, I tried to be close to you and you moved away from me. I just wanted to be invited over for dinner.
I thought that's where it was going to go.
Well, leased Porsches from our Not First Cars says, Teresa, Antonia is such a sweet niece. Why name her for not attending your kid's Sweet 16? She's like, because Rachel asked me a question today, but I never should have answered because now I realize it's a setup question. That's what it is. And she's like, no, it wasn't. Nuh-uh. And she's like, I would never do anything to cause issues between sisters-in-laws. And Teresa's like, set up conversation. Set up. Bling, 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 bling. Set up. Bling.
Dolores, do you think it's a setup conversation? I just can always ask Dolores.
Voice of apathy. It wasn't a setup. I liked it. I also want some free tile to get rid of that disgusting pebble tile that Frank put in.
But I would also expect you to ask Melissa that question instead of Teresa that question, and that way it was kind of, it wasn't a question. The question itself wasn't a setup, but who she asked the question to, was that a setup? I don't know. Do I ever want a discount on tile again? I do. So you figure it out because I'll tell you this much. Paul's floors, very slippery. We need some anti-slip tiles in there.
Do you have any vinyl tiles?
Hey, I've got a question. This one is for Mr. Ronnie Karam. It's on behalf of him. It did strike me that you got very upset that you said kids are off limits, but Melissa, you guys have talked about Gia on your podcast, and you said the kids have hate in their heart. Would you care to answer this? Because I know there's a podcaster who's pumping his fist in the air right now.
And this is where Melissa just lies her fucking face off. I have never talked about Gia. He goes, you did on your podcast. She goes, no, we didn't. He goes, well, you said the kids have hate in their hearts. And she goes, yeah, but from me, because they talked about me at the party. You saw, they said what they said. You saw their reactions to me this year. Yeah, but you still brought the kids into it. All Teresa said was her kids got hurt feelings because your kid didn't show up at a party. That was pretty innocent too. Yeah, so why are you acting like... You can't play it both ways.
You can't say that. You can't say the kids have hate in your heart. Hate in their heart for you, because actually what will also be, first of all, you can't say it because they're your nieces and you shouldn't say that on TV. And second of all, they're just going to hear it as they are hateful people, which is not exactly what Melissa's saying, but that's how they're going to take it. So you shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, so then we see the awkward scene of her trying to be nice to the nieces and them being little bitches to her. Oh, see how that works? I can say it. You see? Yeah. Because I'm not related to you, okay? So Melissa's like, have you ever since once on the show... Wait, what? Have you ever since once on the show say a negative thing about my sister-in-law? She says, have you ever seen my daughter... one time on this show say anything negative about Teresa? No, but your daughter's not a character on the show. You know what I mean? Those other girls are all like characters with scenes. Antonia literally comes into the kitchen because you force her. She obviously doesn't want to be around you or speak to you at all. Even when you guys got her the car, she only hugged Joe. She barely even looked at you. She didn't like you, okay? So no, she didn't say anything to you about it because she's probably on Team Teresa.
Yeah, so
Antonia's chosen, and it's not you. Okay.
And so Melissa's like, I would never throw your kids under the bus for that, she goes, your children have missed plenty of events, and I would never throw them under the bus for that. And she's like, oh yeah, really? Tell me which ones they missed. And Melissa's like, excuse me, it's about the kids right now. So I would chill, like, if I were you, like, be a little classy here, which is something that has literally never happened on this show for anyone. Be a little classy. So Teresa's
it's also
like,
just the whole argument so hypocritical. So Teresa's like, you're not classy. And Andy says, do your kids hate Melissa, Teresa? She's like,
No, Gabriella just wished her a happy birthday. She said, happy birthday, you dumb bitch. I fucking hate you. Hope you die in your sleep. Because that's a goddaughter.
And she goes, yeah, well, I did the same with her. So what's your point?
And she's like, I never said nothing bad about Antonia. I love my niece.
Which she has never said anything bad about Antonia, I have to say. She just said, when they said, did the kids get along? She said Antonia got upset when your kid got upset when Antonia couldn't go to a party. Why are we fighting about this?
Yeah, I don't think, yeah. So Andy's like, he's like, well, what was your reaction when you saw Melissa say, I don't want anything that's going on to get in the way of her? Remember when she talked to Antonia in the car? And Teresa's like, oh yeah, well, the reason why she did that? Because we're filming a TV show. And Melissa's like, well, because my children have never said a word.
Melissa's trying to look like an angel victim. Like, I just don't want our fight to be anything to do with you, which is why you have a whole podcast talking about what assholes they are. Give me a fucking break.
But I think I still would rather Melissa, even if it were a hollow gesture, I still appreciate Melissa saying that to Antonia, whether it's on camera or not, versus Teresa, who is literally always going up to her daughters and be like,
can you believe my brother? He said he doesn't like you guys. God, but I don't want things to get mad between us. Oh, God, but my brother hates you guys.
I think they both do it. And I'm not accusing Melissa specifically of doing it. I mean, I don't really know. But Joe does. Joe and Teresa are the same fucking person. You know that they shit talk Teresa all the fucking time. And how could Teresa do this? And how could... We haven't seen it. Yeah. They're definitely better about not doing it on camera. So I have no receipts. But I'm sure they do.
Well, so then Teresa, it comes up to this whole thing about putting food on their table when she was in jail and everything. And Teresa's like saying how Joe only came to see her in jail only one time. And Melissa's like, well, guess what? He wasn't on the list. He couldn't go to see you in jail because you didn't put him on the list except for one time when it benefited you because it was during the Teresa checks in.
Yeah. And she's saying she only put him on because they were shooting and she had to put him on the list. Which sounds like Teresa, right?
Yes.
I would believe that. But also this podcast thing was dirty because on the podcast, it's from May 5th. Joe's going, yeah, when she was in prison, Joe wasn't working at all. So they had no income. And if we weren't on that show, their kids would still not still be in that house and have food and have whatever they had. It's like,
it felt like giving themselves an outsized amount of importance in that chapter in those kids' life. But I also don't think I just feel like that is it feels like an exaggeration, but they made it seem like that was the most horrific thing that someone could ever say on a podcast. And I just think it was just, you could say, oh, that's bullshit. How ridiculous. But to be like, oh my God, we can never talk to him again. I think it's I think that's blown out of proportion.
Well, because I think it's that way because Melissa and Joe are like, oh my God, how could you do this to your family? How could you bring children into it? You said Antonia didn't come to Antonia's had to skip a birthday party. Oh my God, how could you do it? It's about the children. When meanwhile on their podcast, they're like, those children are lucky they got fucking food. Because without us, they wouldn't have nothing. Their lazy fucking dad didn't have work. Their mom was in jail. It's like, ugh, you guys are disgusting. So it's like it's okay to just talk shit about the parents all the time. But, that's the thing about Jersey, too. And we say this about a lot of shows, especially when it becomes an hour and 20 minutes into a podcast that doesn't need to be an hour and 20 minutes long. Okay. But we often say it, and it's like, why are we standing up for either one of these idiots? It's Melissa and Teresa. You're both gross. And Joe, I'm including you in that. You're all gross to each other.
Well, Melissa's like, I had your back for the last 20 years when you needed us and needed your brother. And Joe packed her up and took her to college. And we were good then, but now we're pieces of shit. And you got your man now, and now we're just pieces of shit because you got your man now. So then the most appropriate user question. Make it stop 45. I love that someone named Make It Stop tweeted in. Melissa, it seems like Jen is hanging in there for dear life about that baseball player comment Marge made about Joe. Should we circle back to this thing? You want to do this? Want to do this? Let's do this.
Sake. God. These people have no sense of humor. Jesus. So they go into this whole discussion. Jen says, okay, so we see the clip of Jen saying,
"So it's not true. She didn't tell you to leave Joe for a ball player."
Which, still hilarious, I have to say. Even all this time later, it's still hilarious. And Melissa's like, well, that's why I call Margaret Dynasty, because she says all these dramatic things. It's not dramatic.
Literally not Dynasty.
It's not dramatic. She was making a smart-ass comment, like, if Joe wants to leave you, you'll be fine. You can get someone fucking hot, like A-Rod or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, she's like, Melissa, we always say that Melissa's like J-Lo, like, now we don't even say dollars to a J-Lo. She's just sort of like, like, I don't know, found at the bottom of the ocean, J-Lo. Okay, well, so we're out one night, and, like, her and Joe are arguing. And I say, listen, J-Lo can be with A-Rod, so you can be with any fucking ball player who's plays in what's below minor league? Is there a baseball below minor league? Like Thursday night pickup game, something like you could be with that kind of ball player. Like, what's wrong with saying that to your friend?
I just can't get over somebody comparing Melissa to J-Lo. I can't. It's not okay with me. I don't think we should just let it go, but I will. So Jen's like,
okay, well, I can appreciate that. Could be a joke, but Laura said that you were always telling Melissa she could do better.
Well, guess why? Because Melissa's telling Margaret and everybody else what a controlling asshole Joe is. And they're like, you don't deserve that. You could do better. And you know why they're telling her that? Because that's what you tell your friend when their husband or their boyfriend is being an asshole.
That's right.
That's
exactly
that works.
Right. So and Andy's like, hey, by the way, speaking of Laura, Jennifer, didn't you invite Laura to your season 13 premiere party? And didn't you have her type out all the invitations on her little stenographer pad?
Yeah, it was real hard for anybody to know what the date or the time was because she did it in stenographer language, which apparently is from Ireland. It's an Irish language.
She's like, oh, okay. And so Andy's like, so you guys friends? And she goes, no. We just talk, We just talk. I'm like, you gossip for your arsenal. The arsenal.
So they're like, Margaret goes, she's a bitch, okay? That's what she is. That's why she did it. And Margaret's like, Jen's like,
Margaret, let me ask you this. Why would you care if she comes on the show?
She goes, what are you talking about, you nitwit? I invited her on the show. I wanted her on the show. I was the one trying to get her on the show, you fucking nuts, you dumbass.
And Andy's like, yeah, she tried to get her on the show. And Jen goes, and that's when she convinced you to block her. Isn't that right, Andy? And Margaret's like, oh, what? So I run NBC Bravo now? Is that what you're saying? I wish I did, because then I could pay for all these anti-well lawsuits that come my way.
And Andy's like, can I tell you something that you can tell her? Which I was like, oh, no. He's like, if she was trying to get on the show as a friend and then she tried to get on as Marge's enemy, don't you think that would be interesting to producers? Just let Laura know. Andy, the boss, said she's not even interesting enough to question about this, and she was the main storyline this season.
You know how I'm a dad? Because I'm a dad. Well, what if you take the A out and put in a U instead? That's Laura, a dud.
Laura sucks. We just put up her picture on the television, and Rachel fell asleep looking at it. Rachel's like, what?
Well, I wasn't asleep. I saw the whole thing.
I wasn't asleep.
I saw the whole thing. Jeopardy's on? Yep.
Teresa starts going on. She's like,
oh, yeah, that happened with Melissa. You brought my sister-in-law. Why didn't you bring Laura on there, huh?
And Melissa's like, they brought me on because I'm actually cool and interesting. She goes,
oh, that was disgusting is what I want. That was disgusting.
This is where Dolores goes, this story is so old. And Danielle, my favorite thing that she said all season is like, I'm just thinking about Shake Shack.
So Jen says, well, she says, Andy, did Melissa ever contact you to try and get on the show? And Teresa's like,
oh my God, she wouldn't, do that. She can't contact Andy.
And Andy's like, no. I don't recall any of that. I don't recall, which is a very political way to answer that.
He's like, He's like, all I know. He's like, here's what I know. She was cute. Joe was funny. He sent me a dick pic. I was won over. I promised never to show anyone. I jerk off to it 3 times a week still. And they had a double staircase, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys thought you'd bring her on because it would be great TV. Disgusting. Your whole storyline was me. It was me.
And Melissa's like, oh, stop with the storyline. Your whole storyline is talking about your brother in every scene. Okay, I have to say on this one, you're both correct. So both of you shut up. You've been using each other for a story for years. So but you actually are each other's story, too, because you hate each other. So it's fair.
Yeah. So Teresa's like,
No, I have a lot of stories. I had a baby on the show. I went to jail on the show. I got married on the show.
She's so proud that she went to jail on this show. And
she's like bragging about her jail storyline. She's like, that was the first time that storyline had ever been done before.
Yeah, I launched going to jail. So Teresa's like...
Melissa's like, wow, you went to jail. Wow, we're very proud of you, Teresa. Very proud.
She goes, you want to go back, Andy?
And he's like, no, please, no.
She goes, oh, yeah? We're bringing it all out because it's over after today. Because I ain't never looking at your face never again, all right?
Melissa's like, bye-bye, bye-bye. And she goes,
you know what? Jacqueline told me so much shit about you and my brother were doing. Like, she told me everything.
And Andy, who's like... He has sort of like put himself in a protective coma to avoid all this. Suddenly perks up and goes,
what? Jacqueline Larita? What?
Melissa's like, oh my God, I haven't even seen that woman in 10 years. She goes,
yeah, Andy, she told me that Joe's ex-partner didn't go to jail because he outed me, all right? They were hanging out with him. They were hanging out.
So wait, she's saying Joe's ex-partner didn't go to jail for, I guess, turning state's evidence or whatever against Teresa. And they were seen hanging out with this guy. They were having dinner with this guy.
Yeah, and Melissa's like, I don't even know who Joe's ex-partner is. And she goes,
yeah, you do.
And she goes, no, I don't, doll. This is like when you said Caroline Manzo put you in jail. And she goes,
yeah, well, I take that back. I think you put him in jail.
Oh, my God. And everyone's shocked. Now she's accusing Melissa of sending her to prison. Which I'd just like to remind everybody again, if you go read these documents, Joe was going to go to prison either way. He wasn't getting out of this. Mm-hmm. But the judge was literally like, Teresa, if you're just honest with me about where this money is, and saying, I'm being honest, I don't know nothing. And then you went to jail because you lied multiple times.
And also, Teresa just bragged about going to jail as evidence of her having a storyline. So if Melissa did send you to jail, I guess you could thank Melissa for your storyline.
Then you would have to admit that Melissa did, in fact, give you a storyline after all of that.
Oh, it's really funny.
So this
toxic,
is
but funny to me.
Crazy, toxic, fun. I mean, I don't think it's any more. I thought this was child's play, really, compared to some of these reunions. This was easy. I didn't find this that toxic. But it gets worse because Louis comes on at some point and he is just completely villain. I mean, he's a complete villain now. So yeah. I can't wait for that. That's going to be great.
Yeah, Dietlgate is around the corner. So, but before we get to that, we at least have another Vanderpump Rules reunion, more Summer House reunion, and just like pure madness. Everyone is enraged right now. Everyone's taking sides across the Bravoverse, and it's wild out there. Be safe,
It's everyone. A fun time out there. So just so you guys know, we also have a new Dwell Hello coming out this week. That is our House Hunters podcast that we do for Wondery Plus. If you join Wondery Plus, you also get Crappens without ads, which is crazy. So there's that. Yep. Forgot to plug that. But also go get tour tickets over at watchwhatcrappens.com. Subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you for watching, everybody. And if you want fresh videos, watchwhatcrappens.com. You'll find our links to our Patreon. So subscribe. We love you guys.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela.
Itchels.
Dana C. Dana Do. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch. Kristen the Piston Anderson.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya. The Bay Area Betches Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
We want to hang with Liz Lang. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.